Yeah. Oh, yes, I feel great. All right, we are live on YouTube. How is everybody doing today? I hope you're all having an amazing Friday afternoon if you're on the West Coast here with me in the States or North America, Canada, you know. If you're on the East Coast, good evening to you. It is another beautiful day at the park, and I just couldn't ask for any better weather. I hope the weather is, playing nice to you in your area. Today, I have a very, very important topic. Today, I have a very important topic to discuss. I can't help but laugh at what just happened. And that's okay. I'll talk about it. I don't care. Apparently, my super troll, you know, preloaded a sock account and subscribed to me 24 hours ago because that's part of my criteria to be able to chat here. And he's like, "Where are you, Coach Eli? We can't see you." Well, that's trolling technique. Let me, there's somebody coming with two kids really fast. Let me go off to the side here. Go ahead. Nice trolling technique that just doesn't work. I mention it because it's just comical. It's comical. This guy is so obsessed. I mean, I'm mentioning it because it's so stupid. It's just dumb. Right? I mention this because you folks can rise above all the stupidity. I had quite a few dislikes before this stream even went live, probably coming from the same super troll that's been trolling me for years. And sir, I mean, if you want me to pat you on the back or give you a little attention because you're not a real man doesn't seek attention or need validation to be a man. If you want me to give you a few strokes that you probably didn't get as a little kid, you got it, bro. It's all right. It's part of me being a coach, right? Hey, Derek, how you doing? Hello, host. You are the best at taking out the trash on this platform. Hey, Queen, how are you doing? Well, I appreciate you saying that, Derek. I appreciate you saying that because my message has no time or energy for just stupid grown-ass people, primarily stupid grown-ass men in their 30s, 40s, and 50s that are so unhappy and miserable within themselves that they have to keep trolling the internet, and they think that it bothers me, right? They think it's slowing me down, right? Or triggering me, right? Yeah, maybe in the past it kind of did because I was new to this thing about 5 years ago and I had to learn the ropes. But I learned the ropes and rose above it. And now I want to help everyone else rise above this crap, right? Right? And if I wasn't a coach, if I was doing something else, I wouldn't even be talking about this. So you see, people like Queen and other people, I'd say, don't give them any attention, don't pay any notoriety to them or anything, right? And I don't do that, but occasionally I will use them as example purposes so I can help coach other people that are struggling in dealing with trolls, right? And learn how to rise above it, right? It all stems from yourself deep within and how you see yourself, right? And understanding that all these people are doing is projecting their misery and unhappiness onto you. And they're trying to get a rise out of you so that way it can make their pathetic, miserable life feel better, right? And when you continue to do stupid shit, especially as a grown-ass person, right? And again, this is more so the grown-ass men that are doing this, because the grown-ass women, we'll talk about them today. The grown-ass women are more so spending their time trying to figure out why no man wants to date them, or at least the men that they want don't want to date them, and they've been single for a while. And if they continue doing what they're doing, they're going to continue being single, right? It's just funny. The men troll the internet, the men troll other men, and the women complain about men all day regarding the dating world. That's where YouTube and many other aspects of the internet have gone. It's rather comical. It's pathetic. It's ridiculous. And I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing to hopefully shed some light on as many of these people as possible, both men and women, to understand what is keeping them from getting what they want and having the happiness that they desire. Trolling does not make people happy. I mean, you know, if someone were to ask a troll, what makes you happy? What is your purpose in life? Would they come out and say, I'm an internet troll on YouTube. I troll other people that I perceive to be in a better place than me and happier than me? I mean, because that's, if they don't say that, they'd be lying. They'd be in a further state of denial of their complete miserable unhappiness, right? Another thing, Derek, and I'm not trying to get you to toot my horn, but I speak very clearly and I emphasize these things to the point of where even the biggest idiot on the planet can understand what I'm saying. I speak in plain English and I emphasize my words. I speak very, very clearly with good audio. And I don't talk too fast or too slow so people can understand everything that comes out of my big fat mouth, right? See, every now and then I'll take a stab at myself. My super troll wants to cut my tongue off. He's been saying that for years, right? He would probably agree with me and say I have a big fat mouth. Well, maybe I do, sir, but what I speak about is the truth. That's all I do. So enough of that. Feel really good today. Feels amazing. Queen, how are you doing today? And Derek, how's your day going if I didn't ask that already? Oh, Queen says, I was going to get that circus clown out of the chat after I put the topic in the chat. I can only rush so much. Queen. You know what I love about you, Queen? What I love about you is the same thing I love about every decent woman. And I say this in a friendly, weird way, right? Because the only woman that I have romantic feelings for is the woman I'm dating, and she's probably watching me right now. Good evening to you, ma'am, or good afternoon to you, ma'am, if you're watching. What I love about you, Queen, is that you're a good woman, and you're no different than any other good woman that always wants to be there to help other good people that you care for, right? Give me a second here. I'm going to be passing by some people, so I don't want to be too loud. So, because you weren't here right away, which I don't expect that from anyone, I appreciate when anyone, including you, can be here to mod. I mean, Queen, I'm self-sufficient too, and I can also mod as well. And I saw them and modded them, and don't be too hard on yourself. There are a lot of good, I won't say a lot, but there's a decent amount of good women still left in this world. Queen Helen Casey's one of them, my lady's one of them, and my mother and some other women that I know that are really good women, right? And they always feel like if they can't be there for the people they care about all the time, that it bothers them. And quite honestly, that's actually normal female behavior. That's normal female behavior where a woman is, I'm not trying to call you overly submissive, Queen, but that's a submissive nature type of thing where women are being sweet, loving, caring, loyal, and are just considerate. They just want to be good to the people they care for all the time. So I don't blame you for that, Queen. I actually am very grateful and thankful for you. I'll say it again. And don't ever feel that, if you miss somebody that I get, thank you for getting that one, Queen. That sock account was using a word that got Joe Rogan on the hot seat for the past week. You know what the funny thing is, Queen and Derek and other people that are watching right now that are here for the right reasons? The people that are trolling are actually being coached by me, whether they like it or not. Right? See, these people know deep within that, and I better get out of here because there are a lot of real life trolls here, like the kiddies, right? I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, these trolls, they love my content, whether it's for entertainment purposes or they're actually learning something, right? Because here's the thing. Regardless of your audience, this is how I'm looking at it now. Regardless of your audience, even the trolls, right? They're taking the time to create sock accounts and subscribe to my channel 24 hours in advance, which is the minimum time required to be able to chat here, right? So they're going out of their way for me, right? So I can look at that as a term of endearment, right? And they themselves, deep within, know that what they're doing is stupid and pathetic. And even deeper within themselves, they know they're unhappy and miserable, right? Because if they weren't unhappy and miserable, instead of being out here trolling me and others, or myself and others on YouTube, right? These guys would be out there smashing some cakes. You know what those cakes are, right, Derek? Right? I'd rather be out smashing some cakes. Figuratively speaking, of course. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'd rather be with my lady. That's another way of putting it. I'd rather be out smashing them cakes than trolling on YouTube. Like what sounds better to you, Derek? Smashing cakes or trolling on YouTube? I hope the 5G tower doesn't cut me off today. I have a feeling it's going to cut me off a few times. So, folks, be prepared for that. If that happens, I'll be back in less than a minute. And on the replay, it'll just piece itself together as it always does. YouTube does a phenomenal job of that. We get to the chat here in just a second. I'm just trying to get into a shady part. Yes, there are far less people here today, I'll tell you that. So I assume that will take a huge load off the cell tower. What are those? Are those oranges, Derek? Derek says, Some of those people are so emotionally weak and unstable, it really shows through their pathetic, pitiful actions. Well, that's true, Derek, and you've probably been following me for a while. I mean, I'm sure you know who I am. I think you're like one of 3 people. So you know my lingo, and you know, I'm not trying to say you're trolling, maybe a little soft trolling. That's no problem there, right? These people are pathetic, says Queen. No, they are. They are. And quite frankly, Queen and Derek, you know, I've learned to flip it around and use them for content at times without mentioning them, right? And going back and forth with them and just trying to share with people that, you know, what would you rather do? What would you rather do with your days? Would you rather go out and take a nice walk and get some real vitamin D like I am right now and be around people? Or if you're a guy, because it's primarily guys that are trolling, if you're a guy, wouldn't you rather be out with your lady on a Friday night? Going to a nice romantic dinner, right? Having a great conversation and then smashing them cakes afterwards, right? And my baby's thinking, you know, my woman, you know, we call her a baby. That's what people do when they're in a relationship, right? My baby's probably thinking, boy, I wish you could be here right now smashing my cakes, right? She's probably going to text me that, right? It's just, it's become really comical. And later tonight, I decided that I'm going to be doing that live stream from the studio. The internet, or my thoughts on the internet in 2022. Drama Central, question mark? One more time, tonight from the studio. I'm not quite sure what time it's going to be. I have the stream set up. It's on private. I have not put it out there publicly yet because I don't know what time it's going to be. It all depends on, you know, how I feel when I get home, eat dinner, and then, have a conversation with my lady. My lady's schedule at work changed today, and so she's working into the evening. So we may just briefly talk or not talk. I may just have her watch this stream because I really want to get this stream out there. It's going to be probably 45 minutes to an hour, no longer than an hour. And I've decided I'm just going to share my thoughts on the internet. You know, how, you know, I feel or my thoughts on the internet in 2022, Drama Central, question mark. I'm going to be sharing my experiences regarding the early days of the internet, how it used to be compared to how it is now. You know, that includes the days of MySpace, the days before smartphones and tablets and mobile devices, and 3G, 4G, and now 5G, right? 3G, 4G/LTE, and now 5G, right? Okay? Was the internet a better place to be when it first came out? Or is it a better place now? Are there some things that were much better back then than there is now, I mean? Right? Little hint, I would say it used to be a better place. But the internet also wasn't as immersive with video and audio and, you know, 720p and 1080p and 4K and 8K is right around the corner, right? And we didn't have platforms like YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and all these other social media sites. There's a lot that's changed throughout the history of the internet, which is about 30 years. The internet's been around since, you know, I'd say probably the early to mid 90s, right around there, like the mid 90s or so, like early to mid 90s, right? So we're looking at about 30 years, right? Whereas the internet transitioned to nowadays, and how much more productive is the internet nowadays than it was before, or is it less productive? Is it making us more miserable? Is it costing us more money? Is it saving us more money? Right? There's a lot to talk about, and I'm going to discuss it from the bottom of my heart, and with no script, and with nothing but the camera and I. Hi. Nothing but the camera and I. So I've got the kitties over there saying hi to me again, and I've just got to keep on moving so I don't get distracted. And yeah, I was going to go to a different location today, but again, I didn't get the time to do it. I've had a lot of things to do. I'm hoping to get things back on track by next week to do these walks from different locations, and then even get some more pre-recorded videos going. In the meantime, you'll get these mobile live streams from Red Morton Park, and you'll also get some in-studio live streams. And that's why, I bought a boom arm for my studio to better the audio, because my audio in the studio has always been decent, but I wanted to make it a little bit better so people can stick around longer, and I fixed that. So that's where I'm at. So yeah, that stream from the studio will happen at some point tonight. Probably, if I had to guess, anywhere around 11 p.m. or 12 midnight Eastern, which is around 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. Pacific. It all depends on whether my lady and I are going to talk by phone briefly, or if we decide not to talk and she'll just watch my show and we'll talk tomorrow, because I think she has to work early tomorrow morning and she's probably going to go to bed soon, right? And see how I take my relationship into consideration, and I balance my work and my personal life to the point of where my relationship doesn't suffer, my business doesn't suffer, and my videos and stuff. As an entrepreneur, I have a little more flexibility than you folks in the workforce, right? And I'm choosing to just balance it as best as possible, so all aspects of my life are smooth sailing, right? That's how it should be. So I'm about to get to the topic here, because I'm about to finish my first lap, and I'm going to need the entire 2 laps to talk about this, because there's lots to talk about regarding the number one reason why women are single in the modern world nowadays. It's a very, very hot topic. Let me pull up the side and let this person pass me by. It's a very, very hot topic. That's a young kid, probably around 10 to 12 years old. So that's Kappa, right? So I'm being respectful of the rules. But he seems like a respectful young kid. He's even wearing a mask while he's walking, which is really not necessary, especially if he's vaccinated. But he just walked by. He's doing his walk. He's minding his own business. He's not asking me if I'm on YouTube. You can tell when kids are raised properly, because they're respectful to people out in public, like that kid was, right? He's just minding his own business, doing his own thing, taking a walk, and staying healthy and fit at a young age. If that kid keeps doing what he's doing now, he's going to turn out to be a guy that every woman's going to want. So and that's because he minds his own business. He's focused on himself and bettering himself. That young kid is focusing on his purpose at a young age, and now he's heading back the other way. Let me just see where these other people are going. So let's get right to it. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition, live from Red Morton Park. This is episode number 222. 222, 3 twos, Queen. 3 of a kind, right? Like Garth Brooks used to say, yeah, we're 2 of a kind. Whoops, that's 2 of a kind. Sorry, working on a full house, right? I butchered that, sorry. The song was 2 of a kind, working on a full house. It's a story about a man and a woman that are very similar in nature, right? They have similar interests. They're, equally physically attracted to each other. Their personalities are similar, right? So they're 2 of a kind working on a full house, right? Meaning that they're going to have some kids and have the good old life, right? And, the song is based off of poker cards, right? There's 2 of a kind, 3 of a kind, full house, or straight, full house, flush, and royal flush, right? And if you're playing with wild cards, which you shouldn't play with wild cards if you're playing real poker, but some games have wild cards, then you can even have 5 of a kind, right? But the highest hand without wild cards is a royal flush. That's a 10, jack, queen, king, and ace of the same suit, right? Oh, the kid's following me. All right, so I'm going to the other side because that kid with the mask. Okay. Well, I'm beginning to think that that kid is autistic because he's like sitting there like making noises to himself. No disrespect. And now he just turned around and went the other way. I don't know. He seemed normal initially, and I don't know. And he started following me and started making some weird noises, like a robot, like R2-D2 from Star Wars. So now he's heading back. It's all good. I've seen it all. It's all good, right? So this is episode number 222. And the topic today is the number one thing that keeps women single. Dominant versus submissive women. One more time, the topic is the number one thing that keeps women single. Dominant versus submissive women. Now, let me preface, as I always do when I talk about these topics here. Number one, I have a woman, and I've been in a happy relationship for 5 months now. So I'm speaking from experience. I'm not speaking in any angry or bitter ways. And I'm leading by example here too, because this is how I live my life. And I'm also going to be sharing what I've looked for in a woman in the past before I met this woman, and what I was looking, when I met her. Her and I would not be dating right now for 5 months if she didn't fit the bill of the type of woman I'm looking for. Right? So, the number one issue that keeps women single nowadays all stems back to women behaving more dominant than submissive all or most of the time. Women nowadays, obviously, like I've said in the past, they've been liberated, they're empowered, right? They have equal rights. I sound like a broken record, but I need to keep repeating this till people get the hint here, right? Equal pay for equal work, the right to vote, the right to bear arms, all the rights that once only men had. Women now have them too. And I have no problem with that as a man, and no other man. I don't really think any man on the planet has a problem with women having equal rights. That's not the problem. There's nothing wrong with women working. There's nothing wrong with women doing practically almost anything that men only used to do. The problem, like I keep saying, is that a lot of the things that women are doing nowadays that they didn't used to do in the past require them to exude more masculine energy than feminine energy, which is the most unattractive quality to a normal, down-to-earth, decent, confident, strong alpha male. As far as the beta males go, the beta males will give the time of day to any woman that blinks at them, right, or breathes near them, right? So we're going to leave the beta males out of this for right now. Because here's the thing, right? This is what's happening in the modern world nowadays, right? The women that the men want, women don't want them, right? And the men that women want, men don't want them. And why is that happening? It's happening for the reasons I stated exactly here today. Okay? For me, I don't care what the trolls or anyone else thinks. People criticize me, right? I consider myself, and I'm only sharing this because I'm a coach for example purposes. I would never, ever come out and try to flex my muscles and say, oh, I'm a strong, confident alpha male, right? I don't need to do that because I just know that deep within, right? And people can see it, right? But I'm going to share that here for example purposes in a humble way, as humble as possible, and say that I'm a strong, confident alpha male, right? I'm a strong guy. And what attracts me, a strong guy, to a woman? What attracts me to a woman is her femininity, her cuteness in the way she looks, her sweetness with her voice, soft-spoken voice, right? Her loving, kind, caring, and nurturing personality, right? And nature, right? That's all it takes. And listen, ladies, it's as simple as that. That's all it takes to attract any strong, confident, decent alpha male that's looking for a real relationship and not just a hookup, right? Okay. Even us strong, confident alpha males that are not looking for a hookup necessarily, and we're looking for something real, that's what we are attracted to in a woman. Now, give me 1 second here. So, again, like I said, that's all it takes, right? But what are women doing nowadays? Women are going out on dating apps or wherever they meet men, and they're flexing their muscles, right? Right? And they're more focused on their careers than their relationships, right? Nothing wrong with focusing on your career as a woman, as long as you understand if you want to attract a good, decent, strong, confident alpha male into your life, at least at first, don't talk about your job. And if he asks you what you do, be brief about it, and then get right back to getting to know him for who he is, right? Because ladies, here's the thing. It's not that men aren't happy for you that you're working and don't respect the fact that you're working. We do. But why would any man want to care at all about what a woman does, whether it's, regarding her work or anything else, until we know if there's chemistry or not? This is the point that ladies are not understanding nowadays. even for us good, strong, confident alpha males, right? Until we know you're truly into us and only us, and you stop talking to all 100 plus other guys on dating apps that you're talking to at the same time you're talking with us, until we know we're your only choice and you're really into us, and that usually takes sleeping with us, right, to prove that, then we could care less about what you do for a living. I'm not saying we don't respect what you do for a living and that you shouldn't be allowed to do it. You can do whatever you want, no problem. It's just, it doesn't matter to a man until we know you're invested in us and have been intimate with us, right? But these ladies, what happens when they go on dating apps and they talk with men? They put men through the ringer, right? Right? A lot of them are very attractive physically. They make very good money, 6 figures plus. They have their own homes, their own cars, right? They've got everything. They look good on paper, right? But what happens with these women? They feel entitled to having whatever man they want in the way they want a man. They want the perfect configured order man, and that doesn't exist. And a lot of them, without even realizing it, try to groom that man to be the man they want them to be. And with strong, confident alpha males that understand this, wouldn't deal with that for more than a minute or two until we figured out that the woman was being that way, right? The beta males will conform to that because they have no clue, and the beta males are just excited that a hot woman's talking with them, right? Let me wait to see where this woman is going before I continue. So a lot of women, what they'll do is they'll like a lot of women in this position, they'll test guys. They'll say things like, I want to take things slow. I want to really take the time to get to know you. You know, there's no hurry and stuff like that, right? I'm telling you guys out there that if you encounter a woman like that, online or offline, that says, I want to take things slow, I want to do it right this time, you know, I want to, you know, take the time to get to know you, or if they even go as far and say, I don't sleep with somebody right away, that should be the last conversation you have with them. Because that means that they're very guarded and they're very controlling, right? And that means that they are more dominant than submissive. And even if you got into a relationship with them, it wouldn't work because you would have a power struggle, right? I'm trying to teach you guys to identify these types of women as quickly as possible so you don't invest too much time and energy into the wrong women, right? Because a woman that is really into you, now kid's following me again. He's coming around this way. So it looks like that must be his older brother or a friend or something that's trying to get a grip on him. I think that little kid has autism. Because he's just like screaming nothings out of his mouth. Poor kid, I feel bad for him, you know? He caught up to me, like he was going the other way and then he cut around. I don't know, maybe he likes my camera. Who knows, right? Derek, I see your chat message. I'll get to it in just a second here. Oh, that sun is really, really popping right now. That's a lot of vitamin D3 right there. That's actually, it's good, but it blinds you. Even with Ray-Bans on, It can still be blinding. Let me get to an area over here and I'll check out the chat. Those are peaches, says Queen. Okay, from earlier. Host, says Derek Gibson, every feminist I match with on Tinder, I send them your links in hopes they will learn something and stop acting so badly. Come on, dude. You don't have to troll me that much, brother. I understand a little soft trolling is going to happen, right? I get it. Dude, seriously, man. No disrespect, Derek, but that was really an unnecessary comment, man. I'm not naive, dude. But you've been respectful, and regardless of who you are, man, you know, you keep it lighthearted, we can keep you around, bro. It's not a big deal, right? And here's the thing that I've started to realize. I don't even really think a lot of these women are trying to be feminists, right? I think what happens with these women is that, you know, they start working a career that requires them to exude 100% masculine energy at work, and they have difficulty turning it off when they leave work. My woman even told me that, you know, a few weeks ago when we spent a couple days together. So if my woman exudes masculine energy at work, and why am I with her? Because when she's with me, she's more submissive than dominant. But there are times where my woman will try to flex her muscles because she's been through a lot, especially women that have been through a lot of trauma in their life and stuff. They'll flex their muscles more than women that have not been through that, right? When she does that, I don't get triggered, right? I show my emotional strength as a man, because a real man has emotional strength, right? Not just physical strength, emotional strength as well, right? And women do not have the same emotional strength as men do biologically. They're hardwired differently, right? So when she tries to do stuff like that and act all masculine, right, and flex her muscles, right, for whatever reason, right, and it's totally ridiculous, I sit there and I look at her and I say, baby, with a calm face. I look at her because she's attracted to me, right? When women are attracted to you, your face, the way you look, and you just look them right in the eyes in a cool, calm, and collective tone of voice, and you say, baby, you're being ridiculous. And they might say, no, I'm not, baby. Cut this shit out. I ask her one question. Would you rather sit here and flex your muscles and try to exude more masculine energy and tell me how strong of a woman you are, or would you rather make out right now? What would you rather do? She's like, I'd rather make out with you. Then let's do that, right? And her attitude just changes, right? Immediately, right? That's why I'm with her. And that's actually pretty normal with even a healthy modern woman nowadays that's not a feminist, right? Because they're exuding that masculine energy at work, and they don't even realize that what they're doing at work 8 to 10 hours a day is defining who they are outside of work, right? And you as a man have to learn to identify that and learn how to handle it like I do and bring her back down to earth and let her realize that, hey, you're not a man, you're a woman. Don't behave like a man because it's going to turn me, the real man, off, right? So your job as the man is to offset that, to bring her back down to where her natural essence is, where she really actually prefers to be. See, women are thinking they want to flex their muscles, but they're not happy flexing their muscles and being all masculine and stuff, right? Or exuding masculine energy. They're happiest when they're in their feminine. But in order for women to stay more so in their feminine nowadays, you as a guy have to identify that when it's happening and call them out in a cool, calm, down-to-earth, loving yet dominant way, in a dominant yet loving way. So in essence, when I'm saying, baby, you're being ridiculous, I'm not yelling at her. but I'm not kissing her ass, right? I'm saying you're being ridiculous. That's a method of being dominant in a loving way. And I'm trying to convey to her and say, baby, what I'm saying in essence is, baby, I don't like when you behave like a man. It's a turnoff to me. And I'm trying to say that, baby, I need you to change this masculine energy attitude and become more feminine, or I'm going to take you home for the night, right? And if you continue behaving dominant and with more masculine energy, we may be completely done, right? See, my woman knows. My woman knows my stance on this. My woman knows my stance on this. But at the same time, my woman's always been the type of woman that's looked up to a strong man and is attracted to a strong man. And when she has a strong man in her life, she feels safe and comfortable to let herself go and be completely submissive and feminine. Not completely submissive and feminine. I'll get more on that. Get more on that in a second. But more submissive than dominant, right? Derek says, deep down, a rural woman loves being called out on her shit and put in her place. I like how you spelled shit there to bypass the spam filter, Derek. Yeah. So let's look at it from a figure of speech standpoint, Derek, because I still want to be respectful to the good women out there, right? Or just women in general, right? You know, real women appreciate it when a man calls them out and, like you say, put them in their place, right? And ladies, when we say you want to be put in your place, it's not a controlling thing. It sounds controlling, but it's not a controlling thing. Okay? It's basically you ladies unknowingly testing us to see how strong we are to be with you, right? Women naturally shit test men all day, every day without even realizing it. It's part of their biological hardwire, right? So when a woman is, behaving more masculine than feminine, when she's behaving a little erratic, which to a certain extent is normal because they're women, right? She's looking up to you for your strength as a man to bring her down to her femininity, which is where she really wants to be, right? So in essence, like Derek's saying, putting her in her place, figuratively speaking, right? Some guys would say literally, but I say figuratively speaking because you're not really putting her in her place, saying, woman, do this and that, right? It's not about that. It's about you saying, baby, you're being ridiculous. You're flexing your muscles. And I know you're not enjoying that, right? Maybe you had a hard day at work. If you want to talk about it, baby, I'll listen to you, right? But let's go to a nice dinner, have a couple drinks and some nice food, and we can talk about it there. And then afterwards, we can go snuggle up in bed and talk about it a little bit more. And then, I can tap them cakes. I'm sure you'd enjoy that. Baby, would you rather do that or sit here and behave all masculine and flex your muscles on me, trying to prove how strong you are as a woman nowadays? Like I'm blunt like that, right? That's how I've always been. And even with this woman. And I speak about it so clearly and calmly, right? That she knows I'm calling her out on her BS. She knows it's BS. But the thing is, what she's doing without even realizing it is she's testing my emotional strength. She's testing how strong I am as a man, right? And as long as every time she starts to slide back into that masculine energy type of role, which is going to happen. It's going to happen at times throughout your relationship, no matter how long the relationship is, because women are working jobs that exude more masculine energy, right? So they're going to be in that state. As long as you, as the man, identify it quickly every time it happens. And like Derek says, figuratively speaking, putting them in their place by just saying, baby, you're being ridiculous. Cut this out. You know, I care about you. I love you. You're beautiful. But baby, you don't need to flex your muscles on me. I'm your guy. I'm the guy. I'm your rock. Right? Baby, let me ask you this. Are you my rock or am I your rock? Right? And some women might be snarky and say, well, you know what? I want to be your rock and you can be my rock too. And in that case, I'd say, well, okay, baby. That's cool, baby. Right? But who's the real rock here, baby? You are, baby, right? A woman that's really into you and cares about you and feels your masculine strength will just submit and say, you are, baby, right? And it's not submitting as a control thing. It's submitting because she feels safe and comfortable and protected when she's with you. And that's how women want to feel, even in this crazy modern dating world we live in. even the feminist women, they want the same thing. They want the same things. The reason why they're not getting what they want is because men try to put them in their place in a loving and dominant way, and they keep flexing their muscles to the point of where these men just give up, right? Look, I'm not going to spend my entire life trying to convert a masculine energy type of woman to a feminine type of woman, which is her natural essence. I'm going to try one time, maybe twice. And if she keeps flexing her muscles, I'm out. Excuse me. Third and final lap. Get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We'll be going off the air probably in about 25 minutes. We are at 52 minutes. We're kind of chugging along today. It's been a nice walk, right? Ladies, here's the thing. If you continue flexing your muscles, you're not going to attract the men that you want. You're going to attract the beta males that'll give any woman that breathes anywhere near them the time of day. Right? And you don't want those guys because they're not strong enough for you. But the guys that are strong enough or stronger than you, you don't give them the time of day, or sorry, they don't give you the time of day because you're trying to compete with them at a masculine level. And what part of women is masculine, right? Do you ladies want to be masculine? Ask yourselves. Do you ladies want to be your natural biological selves and be feminine, or do you ladies want to be masculine, right? I've talked about this in the past, in between relationships when I was single, with many women, right? When I've noticed that, they were starting to flex their muscles on a phone call I had with them, I try to have a conversation about them regarding masculine and feminine energy. And most of them got offended. And then they started to flex their muscles even more. To the point of where, I had to end up hanging up on most of them because I was getting so annoyed deep within, but I would never show them I'm annoyed. The thing is, when you're dealing with women like that, you never get triggered and you never show them you're annoyed. What you do is you just hang up on them and block their number. And that makes a statement, right? And in her eyes, what she's saying is, what she's going to say after you hang up on her is, he can't handle a real strong modern day woman. No, we sweetheart, we can't handle you. We just don't want to. It's not attractive. It's not a turn on. I got some kids coming over here, so I'm going to go to the other side. Let me go over here. Most people are being respectful today. It's not as crazy as it was yesterday. Now that dude's probably like 14 or 15, a little bit older, riding a skateboard. It's a nice day. That's awesome. It's Friday. The weekend is here. The weekend is definitely here. That's probably an electric car. I could hear that thing going. Wah. You can totally tell the sound of electric cars. They sound like an airplane instead of a motorized vehicle. It may be a hybrid too. But we have a lot more electric-only vehicles nowadays. And that's the way it seems to be headed for the future. Now, until electric vehicles can go like 1,000 miles without being charged, I don't think they're going to become mainstream. But I do think eventually you're going to have electric vehicles that can go 1,000 miles on a charge. Maybe there are just two big batteries in there, or batteries will get so much more efficient that they'll be able to be more powerful and last longer. Because now these electric cars nowadays, I believe you can get like maybe a couple 200-300 miles off of them, like the Teslas and stuff, and then you got to charge them. But those Teslas have some power. But the more power they have, the more juice they're going to drain quicker, right? So until they figure it out where you can get that much power in a car and have a battery last 3 to 4 times longer, I don't think electric cars will become mainstream until then. Queen says, the battery in electric cars are very dangerous. Well, all batteries can be dangerous, Queen. You know, if they're not properly housed and sealed. So, well, the batteries in electric cars, Queen, I mean, they're really no different than any other type of battery. The concept's the same. That's what some people want to lead you to believe. But one of the first hybrid vehicles that came out, you know, long before even the Teslas came out, were the Toyota Priuses. I had an ex-girlfriend that had one. And the original Priuses would get like 46, 47 miles per gallon on the city and the highway. Now these newer Priuses can get like 100 miles per gallon and stuff, right? And the Priuses, they had just one tiny battery in there. But at the same time, the Priuses were also they're a very light car. They're a very light car that's a little bit more top heavy. So, you know, they can handle okay, but a Prius would not be the type of car you'd want to take sharp turns in pretty fast or anything, right? So there's always going to be a trade-off, you know. But anyway, back to what I was saying about masculine versus feminine energy, right? How can you ladies turn this around and get what you want? There's only one way to do it. And most women nowadays that have been struggling with this are just still not getting it, and they're not understanding why they're still single, right? You want to get a good guy, the type of guy you want, start behaving more like your natural essence of being feminine. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I got this from Coach Corey Wayne, one of my favorite other coaches, okay? Coach Corey Wayne says this, and I agree. Both a man and a woman need to be in their natural essence 70 to 80% of the time. And the other 20 to 30% of the time, you can be in your opposite essence. For example, okay, for a woman to be attractive to me as a confident, you know, dominant in a loving way type of alpha male, okay? She needs to be more submissive. She needs to be submissive at least 70 to 80% of the time. Okay? In order for me to be attractive to her, I need to be in my masculine, right? 70 to 80% of the time. Now, the other 20 to 30% of the time, it is okay for her to be dominant, sometimes in the bedroom, sometimes outside the bedroom, okay? She may help you with some things around the house, you know, or, you know, like do some things with you that require her to exude masculine energy. No problem with that, right? Right? And for me, I even more so prefer to date women that are more tomboyish. Like most of the women I've dated, including the one I'm with today, I consider her to be a tomboy. I don't know if she would call herself that, but I think she is a tomboy because she's very, very feminine and girly looking, but she's not afraid to get her hands dirty. Baby, that's the definition of a tomboy. And you're not afraid to get your hands dirty, so, you know, if you want to challenge me on that through a text or when we talk next, whether it's tonight or tomorrow, that's fine. But I don't think she's going to challenge it because I nailed it. She knows I nailed it, right? I have the confidence to say I nailed it, right? So nothing wrong with her being in her dominant, or nothing wrong with her being in her masculine 20 to 30% of the time, right? But she needs to be in her feminine 70 to 80% of the time, right? On the flip side, for me, nothing wrong with me being in my feminine 20 to 30% of the time. And actually, that's a good balance because it shows I'm human. I have emotions. Sometimes, you know, even a man like me will have a good little cry when things get really, really, you know, emotional and deep. There's nothing wrong with a man having a little cry every now and then for a few minutes, but then snapping out of it and getting back to the masculine man. Sometimes you're going to be with your woman and she's going through something. You're trying to help her. She's fighting you because she wants to do it all herself because she doesn't want to bother you. Then I'll step in and bring her back down to reality. And if she's still fighting me to try to do it on her own, that makes me a little emotional at times where I might shed a little tear. Nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make me any less of a man. That's the 20 to 30% of the time where it's okay for a man like me or any man to be have a little more feminine energy, as long as 70 to 80% of the time you're in your masculine, right? Okay? If a woman is dominant more than 30% of the time, even 40%, right? Or some of you will say, well, what if she's 50-50? No, that would not work because she would be equally dominant and submissive, and to a man, don't worry about it, man. It's okay.
He just really likes your camera.
I know, it's okay. Don't worry about it. We're good. Cool, man. I think that's that kid's brother. I think that kid has autism. And the older brother was probably like around 12 or 13. That other kid's like 10. Was really cool. Apologize. It's a good family right there, right? And again, that kid probably has autism, and what he's doing is out of his control. So, you know, I'll keep him in my thoughts and prayers, and, you know, hopefully everything will be okay as he gets older. So that kid was actually following me. So I'm going to come and pull over here for a second, let some people pass on by. Folks, once again, get your questions, comments, concerns in the chat. We'll be going off the air probably in about 15 minutes or so. We are at an hour and 4 minutes, and the tower's been good today. I'm really beginning to believe that it happens when the tower is overloaded. And go figure, you're at a park. That's why I think AT&T should come out to this park and put one of their Super 5G Plus towers, which is known as millimeter wave. It's the fastest aspect of 5G, which can reach gigabit speeds. You still probably wouldn't get gigabit speeds, but what it would do is it would make more bandwidth available to an area like a park or stadium that has a ton of people. That's why 5G was created. There's like 3 versions of 5G. There's the, there's the LTE, there's the regular 5G, which is what I'm on right now. All right, this dude keeps following me. All right, man, I got to get going. I know it's a camera, dude. Yeah, I know, but I got to go. I can't do this, man. We just got to turn this around. This dude's following me. And now he's turning around. I think that kid does have autism. I mean, look, you can't hold him against him. You can't hold it against him, which is what I'm trying to say. It's out of his control, right? Just got to do the best you can with what you got, right? Handle it maturely, right? Keep moving. Keep on moving. No reason to get mad. It's just out of his control. Be careful, host. Those kids are dynamite. No, I know. It's out of their control, man. That's why you just got to keep moving and ignore them. If you ignore them, all they're going to do is try to keep getting your attention, and then eventually they'll get tired, like any normal kid, and they'll walk away. Excuse me. So here's the thing, ladies. Another bit of advice for women. Okay, when I was single, in between relationships, I would encounter many profiles where women would write things in their profile such as, I'm a strong and empowered woman, or I'm an independent woman, right? Queen Helen Casey, his mother should come and get him. No, I understand that. I don't know where his mother is. But I mean, you really should not be letting an autistic kid run around the neighborhood like this. Like, anything can happen. I can handle it. We just ignore and move on. But what if he jumps in the middle of the street and the car hits him, right? Where are the parents in this situation, right? Now, that other kid, I believe, probably was his brother. I'm assuming it was a brother because I don't even think a friend would chase down somebody like that. And maybe his family is here at the park and they asked his brother to watch him, right? But still, I wouldn't be putting a kid like that in this environment. It puts him in a lot of danger. Is that what you're saying, Queen? Sorry, I'm getting a little dehydrated here. I'll make it till the end of the stream. I just got to clear my throat every now and then. So yeah, ladies. I mean, what type of responses or type of guys you think you're going to get if you put in your profile that you're a strong, independent, modern day woman, right? Like, you know, if you put anything like that, I'm a boss babe, or I'm a working girl, or something like that. Okay? Now, guys like me, when I was single, okay, wouldn't even respond to postings like that. I'm like, I don't care about that. Right? And that's a woman that's already exuding more masculine energy, right? I want a sweet, loving, caring, more submissive type of woman. I don't want to be with a fully dominant woman. What's that going to do? Nothing for me, right? Okay? So, guys, avoid those profiles. Ladies, avoid writing that in your profile, and then avoid being that way when you talk with guys. Because just because women may not write that in their profile, if they are that way, you will see it in their behavior. And that's why I always tell you guys, before you waste your time, excuse me, before you waste your time meeting women without talking with them on the phone. Like, I'll tell you this, I used to take screenshots of women's profiles when I was single, right? I've got this one screenshot I may share. I have to go back and find it because after my phone fills up with screenshots, I transfer the images to my laptop and an external drive, right? I saw this one profile back in the days when I was single that said, you know, she was an okay looking woman, right? She goes, I will not talk with you on the phone until after we've met. Well, I wouldn't meet you without talking with you on the phone. That's a big red flag right there. So why don't you want to talk on the phone before we meet? Because you don't want me to see your true colors of being dominant and controlling? So I eliminate you? Well, most strong guys like me that understand this stuff nowadays would see that and would say, peace out. We won't even try to connect with you, right? So what's this woman going to get? You know, if she still has a profile like that to this day. All she's going to get is the thirsty beta males that are so desperate and weak and needy that swipe right on everything, right? Right? And then she'll meet up with a guy like this, and he'll be such a sissy man. She's going to be so controlling and dominant over him that there's going to be no chemistry. And then she's going to go out on TikTok and YouTube and other places and say, where have all the good men gone? Well, the good men are here, sweetheart. The good men, strong men that you want are here, but don't want to date a masculine woman. Until you ladies realize that we don't want to date masculine women, then you ladies are going to be wondering where all the good men have gone for eternity. That's the truth of the matter. This is the truth. It's the absolute truth. It's the absolute truth. Like I've said before, the beta males are the ones that are keeping the women's hopes alive, but at the same time, they're frustrating the women. And the women aren't even realizing it, that it's the beta males that overinflate all women's values because they swipe right on everything, right? Because they're desperate, right? The beta males are messing this whole thing up, right? But here's another interesting thing I've seen online a lot lately. I've seen a lot of other creators on YouTube that do similar content as I do, and on Reddit and other forums. I've seen a lot of male creators and other guys say that men are getting smarter nowadays. Men are learning how to better properly vet women. Men are not giving women that behave more masculine than feminine the time of day. Right? And that's exactly, give me a second here. And that's exactly what us guys need to keep doing. We need to withdraw from these types of women. And once all guys withdraw from these types of women, and then women start to realize that the reason why we've all withdrawn is because of your masculine behavior, it's going to force women to be themselves again, right? Right? The only way to turn this around is for the majority to speak, right? Right now, the majority is the women because all the thirsty beta males are overinflating their value and giving them unlimited amounts of validation, right? You pull that away, and what happens? If all you betas pull away from validating all these women, right? Right? Then who's the majority then? Then the men become the majority again, right? And it's not that we want to be the majority, it's just that we become men again, right? And all men become strong, confident men again like it was back in the days of traditionalism, right? And now women have no choice but to be submissive or they'll be eternally single. They wouldn't even get one date. They wouldn't even get a hookup. You see, what you guys are not realizing is you are giving women unlimited options. And you are confusing women, you're upsetting women, right? And it's even affecting good guys, strong, confident alpha guys like me. Now, fortunately, I have a woman, and I found a woman, but it's taking me a lot longer in between relationships nowadays to find a good woman than it did in the past because of the way you beta males are today, right? And there's a bit more to it. I'll share more about that tonight from my studio on the stream I do regarding, 2022. My thoughts on the internet in 2022. But yeah, get your final questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We're going to be going off the air in about 5 minutes or less. We're at an hour and 15 minutes. The 5G tower has played nicely today. Let me ask you ladies a question out there that come across this video. And I say this respectfully. Whether you feel I'm being respectful or not. I mean, the real women out there will understand and respect this, right? Okay. Are you happy? Do you feel happy being more dominant than submissive? Do you feel more happy being able to dominate a man or being able to submit to a man? What makes you happier, right? Now, I'm not saying that you have to submit to your man 24/7. I wouldn't want a woman like that, right? But if you can't submit most of the time, right? Right? Is that going to make you happy? Right? Is that part of your natural biological essence? Are you really happy with the way things are nowadays? Or are you just going along with the Joneses? Are you conforming to the agenda, right? And again, I speak about this respectfully because I always feel that women should have had equal rights. This is not an issue of equal rights, right? Women should have equal rights. They should have always had them. No doubts about it. This has to do with how women are using those equal rights, especially the type of work they do, and being forced to work jobs that require them to exude more masculine energy than feminine energy, right? And at first, women can handle it, right? And then after a while, it starts to take a toll on them, right? Then they start getting really frustrated and burnt out and tired because they're doing a job that's not allowing them to be themselves, right? And no guy, including me, is questioning that you ladies are not capable of doing the job. You are capable of doing the job. But do you really enjoy it? Does it define you? Does it make you happy, right? No, it makes you miserable because you have to do things that are out of your natural essence, like fire people, right? Hold people accountable, right? Women in a natural biological essence don't want to hurt a fly. So how do you think a woman feels when she has to fire somebody in the workforce because she's the manager, right? Do you think she enjoys doing that? Right? Now, as a man, I've had to do that. Now, do I enjoy firing anyone? As a man, I don't even enjoy firing anyone because I'm a compassionate guy. But I can handle it and turn it off, right? I can back in the days, I could go to work, fire someone, and feel bad about it, but get over it pretty quickly, and then come home to my woman and not let it affect my relationship or my life outside of work. But see, women are now allowing their work life to completely control their entire life, and that's what needs to be turned around. The best job I think a woman can do is a caretaker, homemaker, mother, raise kids, traditional stuff, etc. Oh, you left out nurse, brother. My woman used to be a nurse. And maybe one day she'll share her story regarding why she's not a nurse anymore and what happened. Right? It's not a bad thing, not a big deal. but that's what my woman enjoyed doing. Okay? She went through some things. I'm not going to get into it here until the day comes where she wants to do like a podcast on it and we can talk about it. But my woman, as an example, you know, she really misses that job. That job defined her. She made very good money, but it allowed her to do what she loves to do the most. What women enjoy doing the most. Women enjoy taking care of people. Women are natural caretakers. It's part of their biological essence. A woman's natural biological essence is to help people and to make them feel better, right? Right? To take care of people. Women do not enjoy firing people and doing things that hurt people, right? But they're being forced to do it because of the jobs they're doing nowadays. So yeah, it does happen. And my woman's probably going to send me a text saying, you nailed it, babe. My gosh, you're spot on. And I'm not even looking for that validation. It's the truth, right? Before my woman met me, she would not pay attention to any of this stuff on social media. Ever since she met me and started following my content and then looking at other similar content regarding what she's going through, she's like, holy shit, I'm not the only woman going through this. And I'm with a man that completely understands what I'm going through. And he's not giving up on me, and he's helping me work through it. Yeah, and the reason why I'm still with you, babe, is because you're working with me. We're a team. And you have owned it. And you really, really want to get rid of all that masculine energy, right? Yes, nurse for sure. I meant nurse in caretaker. Yeah. Caretaker. Well, caretakers, you can be a caretaker without, having a nursing license, right? But in order to be a nurse in a hospital and make the real big bucks, yeah, you need to have a degree and have a license with the state. But yeah, no big deal. Same type of field, bro. The caretaking, nurturing type of field is what you were talking about. So anyway, folks, please like this video. Well, like this stream if you're here live. Please like the replay if you're here on the replay. Share it out. Subscribe. Bang the bell. Select the notifications. Got a lot more content coming to this channel. Tonight, probably about 2 to 3 hours from now or so, I'll be doing my thoughts on the internet in 2022. It's just going to be myself and the camera. I'm not going to be showing anything on the screen besides myself, a nice background in the chat, right? I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on where the internet is today, how it used to be, and where I feel it's heading. And do I feel it's heading in the right direction based on what certain people or where certain people are trying to take it to? I'll give you a hint. They're trying to make Web 3.0. We're in Web 2.0 now. They're trying to get Web 3.0, version 3.0 of the internet, the web, the World Wide Web, to be virtual reality. And I won't even say any more. You're going to have to tune in tonight to hear my thoughts on that because it's going to be pretty interesting. Myself and the camera for about 45 minutes to an hour. If you want to hear my thoughts and you don't need anything more than just myself and the camera, and you love listening to how I share my thoughts, please tune in. When you see the the stream get posted later tonight, please share it out and like the stream. Again, subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications. I really want to spread this message out as best as possible. I really want to help as many people turn their lives around and get what they want and live a happy and healthy life. With that being said, have yourselves a good one. See you all later. And as always, be good to each other.